Differences between observer bias and selection bias. Observer bias versus selection bias. Observer bias happens when a researcher's expectations, opinions, or prejudices influence what they perceive or record in a study. Whereas, selection bias refers to situations where research bias is introduced due to factors related to the study's participants. The objective of observer bias is to detect bias that can affect assessment in observational and interventional studies. Whereas, the objective of selection bias is to remove systematic error from research. Observer bias is also called detection bias or ascertainment bias, whereas selection bias is also called selection effect. Observer bias often affects studies where observers are aware of the research aims and hypotheses, whereas selection bias can affect the internal validity. Observer bias is particularly likely to occur in observational studies, but it can also affect other types of research where measurements are taken or recorded manually. Whereas, selection bias is a type of error that occurs when the sample of participants in a qualitative research study is not representative of the population or phenomenon of interest. Observer bias is a form of detection bias used to originate at a study's stage of observing or recording information. Whereas, selection bias can be introduced via the methods used to select the population of interest, the sampling methods, or the recruitment of participants. Kindly subscribe my YouTube channel Thesis Helper. Thanks for watching.